Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Economic Times Best Brands Conclave 2022, wherein we bring together the marketing gurus, brand custodians, and best creative leaders from the marketing fraternity on one platform to celebrate the best brands and engage in the most candid knowledge exchange platform to understand the nuances of successful brands. In this episode, we bring you an exclusive event highlight. First up, we have a keynote address on the Harsh Mariwala way of doing business.
One thing I was very clear, I was not going to work for anybody else. And that one thing I was 100% sure when I joined my father's company. And being the first from the next generation, that means my father and three of my uncles, gave me a lot of opportunity to do things differently. And in my exploration over 1 year or so, we had different businesses. We had a chemicals business, we had a spice extracts business, and we had an edible oil business. The edible oil business was mainly selling edible oils in bulk, unbranded. So in that exploration, I realized that there was the potential to convert the market from unbranded to branded. I had to take small steps and prove it and then move forward, So at some stage, the parachute, which is the main, what we call our resource generating engine, this is our biggest brand for Marico, started stagnating. We got something like 15% market share in that category. And we said that what do? We want to become market leaders. By then I had started recruiting talent. We started recruiting MBAs for sales, marketing functions. And I had not dealt with advertising. So one of my first tasks was to understand how advertising was created. So I actually, after appointing an ad agency, I said that I want to be trained. So I went to spend 1 full week in the ad agency to know how advertising was being made. So what I'm trying to say is that bottom-up grounding has played a very, very important role in my own journey, and I've been able to understand things from the bottom up. And I've always strived to learn more and more from different people. I think that's one thing I want to share with you, that it's very important that each of you, till today, when I go to the market, I sit down with our field force, discuss what are the trends, what's different, what is the learning for us, how do we compare with our competitors and things like that. So it's very important to be grounded and actually learn from people down the line. We've also had many, many failures, but I think the key thing is innovation. So with this, I'll end my talk, and thank you very much. All the best.
In our next session, we have a power-packed panel discussion on recession-proof marketing strategies for CMOs to navigate economic turmoil.
If I can start the conversation by Ankit, what's your view when recession hits? What should be the strategy of continuing to build the brand?
I'm a firm believer that the only way to accelerate growth during highs and to continue growing during lows is to invest behind a brand. That's the only way. Because typically one tends to pull the plug on brand building, but I firmly believe that that's the last thing a brand should do. So yeah, that's my perspective. So the last thing a brand should do or an organization should do is cut the brand building budgets during turmoils.
Madhu, you are closer to consumers. Your brand is consumer brand. Would you like to extend?
Taking it forward, I think I'm in full alignment with Ankit said. However, I also feel that end of the day, the existence of a brand is because of the consumers. So therefore, you cannot, during a time of low, you cannot be just alienating the consumer. It's very important that you stay with the consumers, you bring in the best to them, and the deeper connection that you can build in, I think that takes a long way for a long-term relationship and continuing that narrative around the brand with the consumers. Difficult times are when you build the future, and that's how a brand should operate as well.
If I have to pass it on to you, Supratik, what do you feel are some of the strategies that you have seen work in recent times or even otherwise?
So when you are fighting with a recession, as a team where your marketing partners are very important, they need to be agile, they need to bring in probably a new communication, your research partner needs to find new insight. But the recession as a mindset had struck everybody. And I think we missed that point sometime, that there is a people factor of the recession also. I think the most important part, or equally important part, is to understand the people factor when you are dealing with recession.
Srihari, what do you think is one thing that you want to leave all of us behind with?
I think the main thing that I would sort of encourage, and I myself am trying to do that, is you should lead with empathy during these times. Part of the reason is because if you look at it internally from your team perspective, everybody is going through a lot. In fact, we've gone through a lot over the last 3 years, and we continue to do so. So empathy, leading with that, your talent, your people, I think that will speak a lot. The other piece I want to quickly mention on that is, the way decisions are also taken, right? You have to be cognizant of the fact that under ambiguity, when you're making decisions, you have to be careful of how much of churn it is going to cause downstream as well.
And with that, I would like to thank you very much, all of you.
Next, we have an unveiling of the 5th edition of the Economic Times Best Brands Coffee Table Book, featuring the successful brand stories of 2022. Welcome back. We now bring to you the felicitation ceremony of the Economic Times Best Brands 2022.
Thank you, Leander. With that, we'll have you take the center stage and we'll bring the brands on board to take the center stage. On that note, first up, let's hear it, Aegis in India.
Aegis, as I say, is an engineering company, and we have been associated with most of the marquee infrastructure projects in India, be it in rail metro, be it in expressways, and Aegis is known for best-in-class manpower that we provide and the tools that we provide for infrastructure projects. The ambition is to be among the top 2. We are also working on infrastructure projects not only in the conventional space, but also on the newer side, for example, on climate, on sustainability, etc.
Well, time to invite the next brand as well, the next best brand, ladies and gentlemen, Saridon.
I think Saridon is a brand with a 5-decade-long legacy in India. What has helped Saridon retain consumers over such a long period is the consistency in the brand promise and always keeping the interests of the consumers at the center. And I think while staying very, very focused on the core, we have constantly revolutionized the brand so that it stays modern and contemporary. So the vision for Bayer for 2023 and moving forward is to make more self-care products accessible to more and more consumers in India.
Well, let's take the felicitations forward and invite Piramal Finance.
A vast population of Bharat or India, aspires for growth, but is often stuck when it comes to access to the means, which is really finances. And here is where Piramal Finance really fills up the gap by serving a whole host of lending solutions for people of Bharat. And we do this with 2 approaches, is to be really, really phygital in the way we serve our population. Physical by way of having a dedicated branch presence of over 350, so we serve every part of the country, and we're also digitally available by way of a whole host of lending solutions for all customers for their financing needs for people of Bharat. There is a new India on the rise, and the growing economy is a testament to the resilience of people of Bharat, and Piramal Finance definitely wants to be instrumental in being able to drive this growth in the hinterlands.
Moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, let's also put our hands together for the next best brand, MasterCard.
So if you fundamentally understand what is a logo, it is an identification or an identity of a brand. And so at MasterCard, for example, we had our brand for a long time. So when we thought about upgrading and relaunching our brand, we had to be very careful that we did not lose any of the equity that we had built over the decades. So when we came up with our new brand logo, we retained the red color, we retained the yellow color, but we changed the shades of the red and yellow to reflect or to elicit the right kind of feelings and emotions in people's minds. And in fact, now MasterCard is the 12th most valuable brand in the world, and our logo redesign had a good role to play in all this.
It's time to invite the next best brand, ALD Automotive India.
Retaining customer loyalty has been, the basic fundamentals have remained the same all along, but what has changed is the span of loyalty and the quality of loyalty that you can actually get from the customer. What we have heavily focused on is try to understand the problems that the customer has, which the customer themselves are not aware of, and try and package a product or a solution around it, create excellent service levels. That's what we do differently compared to most of our competitors.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next Economic Times best brand that's about to be felicitated, CareerNet.
CareerNet is a leading talent solution provider in India, and our brand promise is to make the right talent happen for our customers. We do this by the core aspects of customer centricity, innovation, tenacity, and the domain expertise which we bring along. So basically, the key aspect of the brand and the customer continuity is the trust a customer can have on the promise you make to them. So if you are able to deliver every time on that trust, customers continue to rely on you. So that's what is our focus right now. Make sure that whatever we commit, we deliver and we make it happen.
Let's also put our hands together as I invite on stage the next best brand, Wockhardt Hospitals Limited.
So really branding is about being authentic. I think the brand has to speak for what it really stands for. That is eventually what it is going to stand out for. You can't project something that you are not, that is not authentic and is not true to you. And therefore, for Wockhardt, our brand promise is life wins. It is also what empowers people within the organization to take decisions and to do everything to make a patient's life win and to take the right decisions for our patients and our relatives.
Let's also fuel up the applause for the next best brand, Iris Software.
We are deeply honored to receive the Economic Times Best Brands of 2022. This has been made possible by the adherence to our core values of employee and client centricity, of collaboration, of ownership and entrepreneurship, which every Iris associate exhibits and demonstrates. And that's what helped us build a strong bond with our audience.
Well, the next best brand that I'm about to invite on stage actually hits the nostalgia curve big time. Ladies and gentlemen, Ruh Afza, the drink of India.
Hamdard is about doing good and making people happy and healthy. Ruh Afza is a symbol of people's love and trust. Was introduced in 1907. Ruh Afza is the inspiration and force behind Hamdard's entry into the food sector with product categories like beverages, spices, honey, saffron, edible oils, and many others.
Well, then let's move ahead and invite the next best brand, Viraj Profiles.
Historically, women haven't been a very, very small part of our workforce. But in recent times, their importance and role has grown significantly, and Viraj is very proud to have more and more women join their workforce, not just in corporate roles like in the past, but also on the shop floor. We now have women across all roles, right from the quality, production, the supply chain, all across all the corporate functions. So definitely women are now a powerful force in our industry as well.
The next best brand to be felicitated is Vidgyor Group of Schools.
Over the years, especially in the education industry, what is important and critical is to ensure that we understand what the parents need. We've been trying our best to ensure that students, the skills of students are matched with the 21st century skills, as we call it. So we provide opportunities for the students to maybe involved in exchanges and programs that will build their leadership skills while in school before they move out of school into colleges. One very critical part, we also are looking at how students are able to spend more time with their hobbies and things of interest.
Well, let's move ahead quickly and invite the next best brand. Ladies and gentlemen, Being Human Clothing.
Being Human as a brand straddles what we call conscious circle. It is very, very deeply rooted in the 6 values of love, care, share, hope, help, and joy. And every time you consume a piece of Being Human, you can be sure of the fact that someone out there is got a lot of gratitude for you. You have put a smile on someone's face. The brand really strives to do its best in building purpose around dignity of life of people who are really not that privileged.
Let's move ahead and invite Paranjpe Schemes Construction Limited. Can we have a round of applause, please?
Brand to brand, product to product, it's very challenging to be in such an environment. One of the key factors that has helped us retain our customer is the USP of delivering the projects on time. We are a real estate brand, and when someone is investing lifestyle and entire savings into this product, it is very essential that the only USP that works is delivery and giving customers their home in a very happy environment. So here's the only strategy we feel which has worked over time and again, and which will continue to work in the future.
Let's move ahead and hear it for Royal Sundaram General Insurance Company Limited.
Key way of retaining customers primarily is to offer an after-sales service, be it a product or a service that the customer is availing. To that effect, Royal Sundaram has ensured that the claim process, which is primarily the reason why customers buying an insurance, is simplified, and we try and ensure that all the right claims are passed on or cleared with ease and the right time, and because customer needs that money, right, part of the claim. Second approach is the customer-centric products. This particular year, we have launched actually 2 health insurance products. One is Royal Sundaram Multiplier Health Insurance, and the other one is Royal Sundaram Advanced Top-Up Insurance. For example, Multiplier Insurance, it offers 11x sum assured if required in the 5 claim-free years. And when it comes to any critical disease, customer can avail 4 times the sum assured. So the key focus that we as an organization have is to create simplified processes and customer-centric products so that we are able to retain customers and garner more customers.
The next best brand, ladies and gentlemen, REC Limited.
company is into financing of power projects, and our strategy mainly revolves around the power sector. REC accomplishes this by offering tailor-made solutions, customized solutions to our borrowers. With the latest commitments made by our Honorable Prime Minister at COP26, REC has amplified its funding in renewable energy projects, energy transitions, e-mobility infrastructure, and new energy projects.
Next best brand is Otis Elevator Company, India.
Starting from the invention of elevator, Otis has been in the forefront of innovation. And we at Otis are constantly reinventing customer experience through digital offerings. Most recently, we came up with digitally savvy smart elevator Gen 3 powered by IoT platform, which in real time monitors health and performance of elevator. Technology empowers Otis people to be more proactive and offers customer visibility and transparency in our service products.
And now let's invite the next best brand. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Kaspersky.
Cybersecurity is not about product selling. Kaspersky is all about cyber defense and cyber immunity. So when we are doing our engagements with the customer, we ensure that the customer is aware that what kind of cyber problem is being solved when he's engaging with Kaspersky. More than that, we spend a lot of time, constantly appraising the customer of the new trends in the cybersecurity domain so that we can grow together as we move deeper into the relationship.
The next best brand, ladies and gentlemen, Polycab India Limited.
So digital marketing is absolutely a boon for customer acquisition, and you can segment your customers better and work on precise targeting. And at Polycab itself, we have our home automation brand called Home, where we target HNIs, and that's how we focus on through digital marketing to try and acquire those customers. In fact, it also allows us to remind and repeat customers and try and upsell. And this truly complements marketing for progressive and innovative brands like us.
Well, as I take the name of the next best brand, I think we need to have a really sweet round of applause. Let's hear it for Madhur Pure and Hygienic Sugar.
Madhur Pure and Hygienic Sugar is India's #1 brand in the packed sugar category with a market share of over 32%. And going forward, next 3 to 5 years, I am very sure that Madhur will be able to upgrade most of the Indian families from their unhygienic loose sugar, and we will deliver a hygienic and pure sweetness on their plates. And that is what we look forward to brand delivering repeatedly across all our market segments.
And let's invite the next best brand, RACL Geartech Limited.
Customer has 3 needs. First of all, it should do minimum job or expectations, what he expects from us. Then what wishes or what he aspires. And then eventually, if we can really give him delight, if we can make him happy. Our business is B2B. Our biggest USP is loyalty, after-sales service, a good quality. Like we are exporting to European countries. We are giving them good product, good quality, 7,000 kilometers away from India. And if we really maintain this, customer will not change from brand to brand.